news center in high definition. This is News Channel 8 on your side today.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to News Channel 8 today. I'm Rod Carter.
I'm Gail Guayardo. Today is Wednesday morning, the 27th, and first this morning, let's go to Storm Team 8 meteorologist Lee Spann in the forecast center because it is cold, and that is making headlines.
It certainly is. I mean, to have a freeze warning this late in March is almost unheard of, but right now, that freeze warning for Citrus, Hernando, and Pasco continues until 10 o'clock this morning. And hey, down in Highlands County, you're under a frost advisory, and with good reason. 28 right now in Homosassa, 40 in Brandon, 37 in Lakeland, 39 in Arcadia. By 9 a.m., not feeling like spring, that's for sure. Winter-like weather, 45 degrees at 9. Not as windy as yesterday, but still cool, 55 at noon and 60 at 6 p.m. I'll tell you when things warm up coming up. But first, let's check on the roadways this morning, Leslie.
Well, the shootings that have happened in St. Pete, we're following them this morning. They've definitely affected some commuters' drives out there in the Pinellas County area. Let's quickly go to our cameras. I actually want to show you the ramp. This is actually 275 right at 28th Street. Now, let's go back to the maps now so I can explain what's going on. They've actually opened up the portion of 275 where you can access northbound, but the intersection is still closed. So we've got 28th Street, which is completely closed down between 7th and 275 southbound. And then also 31st Street at 18th Avenue South is closed as well. So 22nd Avenue is still your alternate here. It's a good alternate for 18th as well as some other areas that you might run into some problems. So a lot of activity going on there in the area in St. Pete. Keep that in mind. Meanwhile, Bay Area bridges look very good. And that's a look at the roadways. Now let's check in with Gail.
New this morning, former CIA Director David Petraeus says he is sorry. General Petraeus delivered the apology at the start of an ROTC dinner late last night in Southern California. It's his first public appearance since an extramarital affair with his biographer Paula Broadwell derailed his career last year. The affair was uncovered after Tampa socialite Jill Kelly started an FBI investigation saying someone was sending her threatening emails. Last night, the retired four-star general wasted no time in clearing the air.
I know that I can never fully assuage the pain that I inflicted on those closest to me and on a number of others. I can, however, try to move forward in a manner that is consistent to the values to which I subscribe before slipping my moorings, and as best possible to make amends to those I have hurt and let down, and that is what I will strive to do.
Some say Petraeus' appearance as a sign that he will return to public life in support of his fellow veterans.
Now we're following some breaking news that we've been following for you for several hours. It's coming out of St. Petersburg this morning. St. Pete police are investigating multiple people shot. This happened at the intersection of 31st Street and 18th Avenue South. That's just east of I-275 in St. Petersburg. News Channel 8's Melissa Beckman has been live all morning and joins us now live again with more updates. Melissa, what's happening out there right now?
Well, Rod, St. Petersburg police tell us a total of 4 people were shot this morning, and now a limousine and 2 other vehicles are involved in this very widespread investigation, which is still developing at this hour. Now, it happened right behind this intersection just after 2 o'clock this morning. Police responded here to a call of a hit and run. When they arrived, they found a car with drugs and bullet holes, but there was no blood and no people. As they were here on scene investigating, officers were flagged down by a limousine about an hour later. Inside, they say 2 men were shot. They were rushed to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. We're told about 10 other people were inside that limousine, and police found a gun. Now, that takes us to a second shooting scene on 28th Street near I-275. The people in the limousine told police that the driver of a Chrysler 300 opened fire on them. Police found that driver sitting inside of his vehicle with a life-threatening gunshot wound, and he was also rushed to the hospital. Now, as they're investigating all of this, police say a 4th gunshot victim walked into All Children's Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. At this hour, they say they're not sure how he's connected or if he is at all to all the other crime scenes here that they're investigating this morning. But again, St. Petersburg police are still on scene investigating what we're told 4 people were shot. involving a limousine and 2 other vehicles. And as soon as we get more information, Rod, we'll bring it to you.
Oh, very interesting. All right, thank you very much, Melissa. And of course, look for more details throughout the morning by logging onto our website, the homepage of WFLA.com.
Happening today, teachers in Chicago are planning a huge protest this morning. They are set with plans to close 54 schools. Chicago's mayor says the closures are necessary because many schools are half empty. Just as they did last year when they were on strike, the Chicago Teachers Union will hit the streets to protest school closures, arguing they will worsen neighborhoods that are already troubled. We are following a story out of South Africa right now. Let's go to Adrienne Pedersen for details.
Hey, Gail, Carl Pistorius, he's the brother of double amputee athlete Oscar Pistorius, is on trial right now facing charges for a fatal accident. So here's the deal. Prosecutors say Carl was driving an SUV in March 2008 when he hit a woman on a motorcycle. She later died. Carl is charged with culpable homicide. There's no sign of Oscar in court right now. He's the one charged with murdering his girlfriend, Reva Steenkamp, at his home on February 14th. As far as Oscar, he's free on bail right now. His lawyers plan to challenge his bail restrictions in another court tomorrow. Gail.
All right, Adrienne, new developments this morning following the death of a Georgia toddler. Police say they found a handgun that might be connected to the case. And the mother of the 17-year-old DeMarquise Elkis and 36-year-old Kermaya Elkis is facing criminal charges for making false statements to police. Investigators have not said what the false statements are. The mother of the 13-month-old murder victim says she is not surprised about the arrest.
It doesn't surprise me. That she would be saying that she lied because she don't want her little boy to die.
Police have been gathering information from several witnesses and following tips which they say led them to a handgun in a saltwater pond. Now they're trying to determine if it is the murder weapon.
We're learning more information this morning about the skydiving deaths in Pasco County and video from a helmet-mounted camera that captured those skydivers' final moments. The 2 men were both from Iceland. One was a student, the other was the instructor. The sheriff's office found their bodies Saturday evening. Now, the video shows the teacher trying to help the student deploy his parachute, but investigators cannot tell if the student had lost consciousness.
In the video, it appears that the student doesn't pull his primary parachute, and the instructor attempts to assist.
The sheriff's office says the instructor worked to save his student's life until the end. Both men had secondary parachutes that did deploy. The FAA is investigating why that equipment did not save their lives. In the meantime, the sheriff's office says it does not plan to release that helmet cam video.
Now for some of the stories making news around the world this morning. A driver in the UK lost control of his car and smashed into a house. Got to look at this. The driver had to be rescued from the car after police say he veered off a road and crashed into the wall of the home. He's being treated for head wounds. The couple and their daughter in the house at the time were not injured. A wildfire raging out of control in Australia's Victoria state has burned at least 2 homes and injured 4 people, including 3 firefighters. So far, the fire has burned about 3,000 acres west of Melbourne. Residents in the area are being warned that the fire could spread. This cloudy-looking video from Beijing isn't showing fog. That's actually smoke. The Chinese government has already temporarily shut down 103 heavily polluted factories. It will also take 180,000 old vehicles off the roads in Beijing this year in an attempt to curb the high smog levels.
This is an interesting story. An underwater camera lost during a diving trip in Hawaii 5 years ago has been found. It was found in Taiwan. A manager at China Airlines found that camera washed up on the shore of the beach there. So he downloaded all the pictures and then used Facebook to track down the owner. Well, that owner is actually from Georgia. China Airlines has offered her an all-expenses-paid trip to Taiwan. That's pretty cool.
That's really incredible. The pictures were beautiful.
Yeah, glad you got those back.
Yep. Some local crabbers say they're trapped in a bad season.
Coming up at 6:45, how their struggles will impact anyone who loves to order or cook a Florida delicacy. And still ahead, a fisherman in the Keys reels in a rather bizarre catch. Just how rare is this 2-headed mutation? We'll tell you. And then
I made the wrong call. I'm sorry for the mistake that I made.
Punxsutawney Phil's handler taking the blame, taking the heat, if you will, for a blown call predicting an early spring.
Well, somebody's taking the heat away because it is cold out there. Tom in Largo, he checked in at 47 degrees right now. And we're only going to warm up to 64. That's about 15 degrees below seasonal, despite lots of sunshine. But I'll tell you how cold it gets tonight. And then when we start warming up, it's 6:41, and you're watching News Channel 8 Today.